Hi Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bulls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Gemini, September 1st to the 15th, 2021, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Excuse me. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the world at our root, which is beautiful, and we have the emperor. So being able to be the ruler of our world and not having somebody else rule it is going to be astoundingly important. We have the Knight of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. If we have this within our natal chart, it's coming through very profoundly in our inner selves, as is the King of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It's coming through very powerfully within our inner selves, also at our root with Aries right here. We have death, which is Scorpio energy at the heart, and the Ace of Wands. It is a gift that we're taking, not as powerfully as if we had the King of Wands at our heart in this deck, but we are taking this gift very profoundly. It's a gift from God, Source, Spirit. However, we see the divine, the universe, and it's a gift we're taking for ourselves as we're transformed. And it's interesting transformation that's going on here. The Two of Swords, the way that we thought we could move forward, we're going to see that it's different. It's not what we expected. And the Queen of Wands is right here, and I love that because there's a soulmate connection that isn't going to be quite realized yet at this time, but we're definitely setting ourselves up for it. And there's this sense of passion and power and not being afraid to roll up our sleeves and get our hands dirty. This can happen at work for some of us, but this is going to be a person who has the same interests as us and who is manifesting a creativity, okay, or an idea, or the way that they see things in alignment with us and kind of what we desire. So that's going to be very interesting during this time. Now, it can be that we meet this person during this time, but it can also be that things start to set up. because this person does have their back turned to us, and we are looking forward as we're balancing change. So it can be that we're transforming a lot, and it can be that they're transforming a lot, and we kind of have our back to them. So there's a sense almost as being like ships in the night, and not always meeting, the way that we can kind of look back at that and laugh at it. Yeah, and again, we take this gift of the Ace of Wands. So it's taken in the public arena and in the private arena. So that's really quite cool. Let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of. Gemini, what is the energy that Gemini needs to be mindful of? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. It's the Chariot. Now, this is Cancer energy. Now, this can be that the Cancer energy is really quite profound within us during this time, and we have to be mindful that it doesn't take the reins and kind of take over if we're born on the cusp with Cancer, or if we have Cancer within our chart. But what this is also saying is that emotionally, we're the knights. We want to be the heroes emotionally. When people have emotional problems, when people are feeling overwhelmed or are sad, we want to come in like the Knight of Cups, and be like, okay, don't worry, I got this. This is a person who's going to be astoundingly emotionally manipulative and really want to drag us down. So that's going to be, well, they're not necessarily going to want to drag us down. It's just that they're in like this hemorrhaging place, and they just drag everybody down. And so we need to be mindful of that. It's not saying that we don't help people who are in need, but it's also saying here that we can't be manipulated by them. It's very different if you have somebody who is just in a lot of pain and who is going through something astoundingly traumatic and needs help and support. That's completely different. This is going to be a user. This is going to be a person who has one drama after another, after another, after another, and never even tries to even everything out. It's not like a series of unfortunate events. It's like, no, they're just going to charge forward and make a bigger mess and a bigger mess and a bigger mess. And we don't want to be pulled into that. So that's what you have to be mindful of, Gemini. Now let's look at our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. It's personal power. It's the solar plexus chakra. We are embracing, and we need to embrace, our personal power, our greater understanding of self, this gut feel, this gut understanding of where I want to be, how I'm transforming, how I'm transporting myself from a bad situation to a good situation. I am embracing my power, my determination, my focus, myself. And that's going to be a game changer for us. It leads us to the world. It leads us to the world opening up for us. It leads us to our intentions within the world really gaining momentum, gaining power. We're starting to see at the world, at our root, that we can have this place within the world. It doesn't need to be this big place. It doesn't need to be macro. It could be micro. It could be small. It could be intricate. It can be really, defined by certain things. But it's going to be that I'm stepping into this power, and I'm stepping into this power that is so intrinsically me, that it opens up a door that I didn't know was locked. It moves me forward in a way I didn't know that I needed, but it's because I'm seeing my world, not the world somebody wants me to be in, not the world that advertising is telling me I should be, embracing, but my world for myself, to move me forward. And that's the game changer here, because it's not that we're being egocentric, but it is that we're focusing on the self. And we're saying, how do I embrace my roots? How do I spread out my branches? How do I embrace my world? The way that I love it, the way that I need it, the way that my soul desires it. And it brings us to the Emperor. It brings us to being a warrior. It brings us to being a hero and claiming our thrones and saying, this is what I want from life. I'm not going to be led by another. I am moving forward in determination, focus, passion, and fire. This brings us to the King of Wands, and I see this as like they have each other's back. It's Aries, right? Aries is the god of war. The King of Wands is the king of transformation. He's the second most masculine king. We see the first most masculine king is the King of Swords, because he is the warrior king. Here we have the king of transformation. We have the king of fire and determination and focus and insight and understanding and the sense of, this is my passion, this is my determination, this is the way I'm moving forward, period, end of discussion. I didn't want to have this discussion in the first place because this is my life and it is not yours. There's this sense of just absolute passion that is coming to us. There's also going to be this sense of, well, wait, I'm not a king, I'm not a ruler, I still have to, pay my bills and get on in life. And so why am I having this like strong intensity around me. And we can feel a little bit uncomfortable with it at first, Gemini. But what we're going to see here is that this is ours and this is our right. And so we claim the throne. We claim the throne and we claim our passion. We claim our determination. We claim our focus. We claim the opening of the doors. We claim the walking through to more. And as we do this, we become warriors of our hearts. And it's not that the water puts out the fire. It's that the fire boils the water. And we start to see ourselves moving forward in intensity, moving forward in warmth and in assurance. It's not that we boil the water to the point of it overflowing. We boil the water to the point of making a really good cup of tea. You know, my favorite thing in the world. We boil it to the point of finding balance and finding understanding and rising above the chaos of other people's emotions and saying, this is where I need to be, but also the chaos of our own emotions and saying, but this is where I need to be. I need to be fighting for my heart. I need to be understanding my heart. I need to be cloaked in my heart with the heart chakra right here as the cloak. And as I embrace my emotional self, as I embrace what I need, as I embrace who I am, as I embrace my beauty, but also my scars, I see myself transformed. My heart has this dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new. The thing with life is that we're always changing. We change as the years go by. We change as the months go by and the different clothes that we wear. We change all the time, from our hair to, everything, to our toenails. We cut them, they change. So here, what we're going to see is that we are changing. We are finding more power, more understanding of self. The dying away of the old self is saying the heart is never as the heart once was. It's kind of like when we fall in love and we say, wow, the person is absolutely amazing. And then, give us some time and we'll find their faults. We can also then find if we've repeated wound patterns from, hurtful relationships before, from our caregivers that raised us. And so we are always going to see a transformation. If it transforms when we are high on love, it transforms all the time. So this is a time where we start to see that everything changes, that my understanding changes and my insights change and my emotions, change. And I embrace this change. I embrace this free flow of energy that goes through me and, brings me to the place that I need to be. This is a time where we rebel against stagnation. And as we rebel against stagnation, we open up the door to greater understanding of what we want and who we are and where we're headed and what we desire. And the fact that we will not be the same person walking through those doors of opportunities, the doors of opportunities that we are setting ourselves up for now, as we are today. We are always going to be changing, and our heart is coming to understand that and coming to terms with that. We can mourn the person that we once were, but we have to be very mindful to embrace the person that we have transformed to, even if that person that we have transformed to is not necessarily the person that we want to be in the long run. We all have times in our lives where we go through really hard situations, and when we're embracing transformation, okay, and when we're embracing the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new, we can go through these stages where this isn't where I want to be at all, and yet I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm finding a voice, I'm finding that I get to have a voice, I'm finding a passion within myself. And so then I transform again. And this leads us to the Ace of Wands. This leads us to our heart being given a gift from God, to our spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, of passion, of determination, of focus, of fire, of the torch within the darkness that opens up the doors, that illuminates the path forward, that gives us hope and insight and greater understanding. It brings us to this place where it's like, oh, I see it. And this is the fire that gets us out of the bed in the morning. This is the fire that helps us understand ourselves more and more and more. This is the fire that leads us forward. And so as we embrace this fire, as we embrace this determination, this creativity, this insight, this imagination, it leads us to the Two of Swords. It leads us to the roads set out. It's kind of like society says you can walk down road A or you can walk down road B. There's nothing in between. Don't even think that there's anything in between. Now we're going to say, oh, there's plenty of space in between. And I'm going to see roads open that I never thought I could embrace, I could embody, that could be mine. And so the world starts taking on this different look. The world starts, excuse me, starts moving in a way that we never expected. And it brings us to the Queen of Wands. It brings us to passion. It brings us to creative ideas. It brings us to this place of soulmate connection that we're building to. Now, it can be the soulmate connection with another person, but it can be the soulmate connection with, this is the reason why I'm on this earth. This is my soul's purpose, my mate, my creative understanding. And this is what I'm bringing forward. So this is a time where we hold transformation in our hands. We hold the serpents in our hands, and we are transformed. We are transformed by our ambition, by our desire, by our creativity, by the fire that is a part of us, by the tenacity that is guiding us forward. This is not a time for sitting back and, kind of eating cookies. This is a time for going after what we want. This is a time for embracing the creativity and not saying, oh, well, that's for somebody else, or, oh, tomorrow. It's like, no, today. Today, I'm opening up that door. Today, I'm walking down that path. And as I do so, I embrace a future that I never thought possible. I'm just going to take a sip of water. It leads us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and that's justice. That's saying everything has to be fair, everything has to be, white page, black print, just completely spelled out so that everybody understands. This is not a time where everybody or anybody needs to understand how you're moving forward but you. This is a time to embrace your creativity, your insight, your passion, your ideas, to rise above the chaos and let your heart be transformed by the fire that burns inside. It moves us to our subconscious chakra self, which is play. It's the heart chakra. It's saying, let your heart shine. Let play come forward. The thing with human beings is we cannot play if we do not feel safe. And that's why you hear people say, wow, I haven't laughed like that in years. Because for years they haven't felt safe enough to be able to let joy come forward. This is the time to embrace the heart and say, I am making room for joy. I am making room to play. I am making room for brilliance. That's kind of like, how children can play anywhere and cause a ruckus anywhere, where they can just be in a quiet room and then all of a sudden they decide that they're going to spin in a circle and put their heads up so that they're staring at the ceiling, and they just break out into giggles. This is a time where we kind of have to embrace a little bit of that. Maybe not, spinning in random rooms and staring at the ceiling, but just embracing glory and joy and laughter and finding play in the most unlikely of places. It moves us to our subconscious rooted self. And that is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the power of tradition, but the power of what is traditionally right for me. How is it that I move forward? How is it that I embrace my heart, my soul, myself, and what I desire? How is it that I open up the door? The Hierophant comes forward. It's Taurus energy. So if we're born on the cusp with Taurus, or we have Taurus within our chart, it's coming through subconsciously at our root. We want stability. We want sensuality. We want beauty. We want things to be stable and sturdy. Like, just have substance to it. We want the substance. And that's going to be so important. It's like when we look at things, we're going to pick it up and be like, oh, this weighs well. This is good. That's a very Taurian thing to do. And we're going to find that we're drawn to it. It's like we want our world right now, during this time, to have substance. We're working in the abstract, but we're also working so closely with the creative earthly realm that we need it to have substance. We need it to have, weight to it. And that's going to be a power during this time. It's like, does this have substance for me? Does this have weight for me? It's not that I can pick it up and see it, because sometimes it's going to be in the abstraction, a thought, a something to learn, a door to open. But we're going to find that if it has purpose for our heart, if it has, if it starts us on a path towards our dream, then yes, it absolutely has substance. It leads us to our subconscious inner self, which is the magician. As above, so below. As we believe it, so it becomes. We stand before the altar of our existence. We call forward power. We call forward our elemental self, and the water element of ourselves, the emotional element, and the fire element, the passionate element, come forward. They answer right away. And we're going to see that as being so powerful for us. As above, so below. As you believe it, so it becomes. What are your emotions? What are your passions? What is driving you during this time, Gemini? Because what you focus on, you will get. If it's sorrow, if it's not feeling well, if it's being exhausted, if it's, being underappreciated, those things will come. And they just will. But if it is, I stand before the altar of my existence and I'm braver than I ever imagined, I'm moving forward in tenacity and this, like, spunk. It's like this sense of there is brilliance to me. I'm not put in a box that you can't be, pushed into a corner. This is my beauty. This is my tenacity. This is my brilliance. That shows. And we're changing our mindset. We're transforming our hearts, and that changes our minds. And so there's power here. And people see us. Even though it's subconscious. They see us standing tall. They see us moving forward, saying, this is me, and you cannot deny me. You cannot shove me away or quiet me. It moves us to our subconscious emotional self. And that is the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is saying, do not let the rest of the world and the way the world sees everything define how you see it, beat you down. This is saying that everybody has an opinion. Stand tall in yours. Not out of, anger or vengefulness or anything like that. But it's saying, I am a being of light, meaning I am a being that shines in the darkness. I am the being that brings hope and kindness and beauty into the world. So I shine when others do not. Do not let others rip you down, because it's so easy. Your energy vibration is raising. They want you to be base because they want you to be less than what you can be. They want you to be on the same level as them. So here with the Nine of Wands, we embrace creation, we embrace understanding, we embrace the fact that it's been a long battle and we need time to rest. It moves us to our subconscious public selves. And that is the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is facing nightmares, doubts and fears and chaoses, and saying, but I'm still a queen. I'm still a pharaoh. If this is Hatshepsut or Nefertiti, Nefertari, it does not matter. Well, Nefertiti and Nefertari weren't pharaohs. But what the point is here is that this is us saying that my nightmares do not get to define me. The worst of what may happen does not get to be the chaos and the fear that I live under. There's power, there's brilliance, there is beauty to me, there's tenacity, and there's understanding. And I am opening up the door. Subconsciously, we know, because we have the repeat of the number 9 here, we know that we're on the brink of transformation. That there's just one more thing, and it's that discovery. It's that soulmate connection. It's that fire that burns brightly within us that starts to change the game. All right, Gemini. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with the meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, the beauty, and the fire that is to come. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May move forward in peace and in harmony, Gemini.